Day after day after day after day we fly. Ah! Sorry, that was the last video. Or was it? Anyway, hi. I'm not a developer of the game, or the animation. I'm not part of Gooseworks. I just like the idea of making theories. And hello, my name is Simon Tracer. Simon Tracer. Um, and welcome to the theory about the void. What is it? Why does it exist? And why does it look like 2001: A Space Odyssey? To answer that, we simply have to consider the idea of a virtual environment at all. Also, what would happen if you kept on going forward to apparently what could possibly be the end of the void? Hard to explain, but um, let's put it in simple terms. Have you ever played one of those games where you're just on... Okay, think about this. Minecraft. Skyblock. You're on an island and you basically look out into the distance and there's a bunch of horizon and a bunch of stuff below you. And unfortunately for you, this looks like garbage. You can tell exactly where you are at any given time. So, why would they make a specific skybox that has a very non-realistic and very easily trackable where your coordinates are um, area? Why would you want that? Oh, I cracked my back. So the answer to this is instead you make a area called the void, where everything that is not currently inside of a render space is surrounding you with a bunch of what seems to be exactly what the void looks like. Because it doesn't have a noticeable, referenceable up and down, sure, but you don't know where you are in that up and down, and there's no way to find out. Ironically, Kane doesn't need to know where you are in that void, because it's obvious. You're interacting with a system, and you have an actual coordinates that he's able to instantly know in three-dimensional space where you are at any given time. Simply like in Minecraft, how you're able to TP to a person and you show up right next to them. That's all he's doing. That's all he's doing. He just says TP to person, and then he does that, and then TP to known location, the tent, and then he does that. He doesn't actually know where you were in the void. He doesn't actually know what you were doing. He doesn't know where you've been. He just knows that you are at a certain place. It is an unregistered location of like there is no actual stuff here. And so obviously, it was rendered as the void because they want to make it so that it's obvious that you're in some place, it's a builder space. It makes it really easy to just make whatever you want to make and not be subjected to the bounding box of, well, whatever it is that looks like normal, like the way Minecraft does it. Because, let's face it, that bounding box is around the individual person. It is something only they see. So what is the void? It is what happens when you don't have one of those bounding boxes and you end up making it look like something that's like mystical, and it kind of has an idea of how to trace where you are in space, which is nice. It's a good creative tool instead of having something that's all black or all white, because that's jarring and disgusting and will drive you crazy. Um, Instead, it's moving, it's flowing, it's doing a thing, but generally it's just empty space with a bit of static. That's the void. Someone theorized that what if you went into the very edge of the void and you ended up at the screen, and then you look out and you see the desk and you see the keyboard and you see the chair, and most importantly, you see yourself. Because that's what you would, if you have a camera, you would be able to see yourself. Because, like I said in a different video, Pomni isn't Pomni. She isn't remembering who she is. Because now, well, actually, I should say, Pomni is now Pomni. She's a copy of someone, so she has to make her own identity. So why not just erase their memories to make it more disassociated? It's just how it is. So when you look, if you were able to get to the end of the void and you end up to the screen, then you would be able to see the outside world and see you, or the you that you think you are when you remember. Oh, that's what I actually look like. Not this body, but a real, regular human body that you remember you used to be, possibly, if you still have those memories intact. And for all you know, in reality, you're male or female, it doesn't make any difference. Actually, in high school, I drew a picture which was someone who was stuck inside of a computer, and she was knocking on this, which is just being as close to the screen as possible, which for you is actually, for reality, is my hand being really close to the camera. And then her other hand was back here knocking on the side. And I think the teacher told me that my aspect ratio, or what was happening, why is her hand like really far back here and really small, and the other hand is really close up. And I'm like, I literally looked at the dimensions of what my hand is when it's close up and when it's far away. That's all. So it it 100% tracks. There's 3D space inside of this, and so you knock on the side far away, and then you also can knock really close, because that's where the camera is. I also had a picture of them sleeping in their bed, because, like, it's cute. It was like I made a side picture, which is actually like it was when I made the picture for art class. It's like there's this picture. It's like a post-it or one of those Polaroids. It's off to the side. It's beside the computer desk or whatever. It's like it's like on the wall, and it shows like, oh, she's there and she's sleeping because she's got a bed in that scenario. Or I don't remember if I made other pictures, but yeah, I envisioned Pomni back in 2004. 2004. She didn't look like that, but I mean, I still have the art book. I could show you. Not right now. Anyway, the void is just empty space. The weird thing is, what if you could actually go to the boundaries of what is reality? Um, we we look at this concept of going to the boundaries of simulated space when you go into Minecraft and you go as far away from everything that is normal, past the wall, into the you're not supposed to be here space, and then millions away or billions, and then eventually you get to this weird glitchy space. And that's kind of what you might see at the void. There's also the idea of, if you've ever seen the movie The 13th Floor, you start seeing like the grid of everything that is generated and then a bunch of nothingness, because it wasn't rendered, it was just made into shapes, and there's nothing actually simulated out there. You don't see anything, you don't feel anything normally. You don't know that you're like, the only thing you do is you can move around, and yeah, you don't hear anything. It was 13th Floor is an interesting movie. The guy goes from being in the 1950s or the 1920s, and then he goes into the 1980s in that simulation by taking over that body somehow. And then he goes into the real reality, which is like, what is the year? I don't remember. I have to watch the 13th Floor again. That'd be good. Toodles! I don't know what else to talk about. All seeing eye.